Welcome, listeners, to this week's episode of Unexplained Legends. I'm Roberto Sylvan, and with me, as always, is
Denis Bounty Len.
And together we are the Unexplained Legends.
You've gone Spanish, have you?
I have, or Mexican, Dennis. Sorry,
Didn't mean to offend our Mexican fans.
yeah. Or you know what? Most of South America.
Yeah.
Not Brazil. I have become Roberto Sullivan because a fan of ours on the Discord, Megas, mentioned that he was watching on YouTube, and I think he accidentally put the subtitles on, and he noticed that the subtitles were picking up, instead of my name being Roger O'Sullivan, it was picking it up as Roberto Sullivan.
I think you could pull off a Roberto.
I think so. I think I don't know. I definitely mentioned this to you before, that I was in a taxi previously, and the driver was from.
Was it fake?
No, it was not. It was real taxi. Here, I have a problem with that anyway. It takes them where they need to go.
What? Yeah.
So what? Like, what's the definition of a taxi?
Oh dear God! So you mean they are paying for it?
Yeah, Joe, you've sent me off on a total tangent now. I can't believe I never told you this. I saw the fake taxi.
No, you didn't.
Fucking swear
you didn't
to you.
See the fake taxi.
I swear to you.
From the inside.
Help!
Help! This isn't free at all. Okay, so where did you see the fake taxi?
I can't. East London. I won't give the exact area.
Wait, how did you know what it is?
What do you mean?
Like, was there two people and a camera crew inside it? Like,
no, it's written all over it. Written all over the outside. Fake taxi.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought they'd want to be a bit more low key than that.
I'm telling you, man. Joe, it's so funny. Is where I saw it parked up is the guy was just going into a co-op to get stuff. And it just seemed like I'm assuming that he wasn't. I'm assuming that he wasn't immediately prior or post. I think he was just driving it around.
That must be a night. That must be a nightmare for that guy who's obviously just driving it from A to B, like having lads running after the car, fucking tossing themselves off, running after you, just constantly.
Here, listen, I got his autograph anyway, and but that's not what I was going to say at all. I wasn't going to say I was in a taxi. I was in a real taxi before, and the driver was from the Ivory Coast, and he pronounced my name Roger.
Okay, that would be a good move for you too, Roger.
Yeah, and then for about 6 months, my girlfriend exclusively called me Roger when we were alone together. Not intimately.
That's not a euphemism, no. You pause at the worst parts of your sentences. When we were in a shop.
So what have you been up to, Dennis?
Not much. I really have.
You're in the room from Twin Peaks.
I am. I'm actually in the dream from Twin Peaks. I can't reveal too much about my surroundings at the moment.
Okay, yeah.
But I am in a different location. It is a black site, and
You're in a skiff.
I am in a skiff. Listen to the last episode, find out all about skiffs. I've been building a secure place for when the aliens come down. I see as well on Instagram now and all these social media places, a lot of people kind of making fun of the aliens coming down and our reaction and all this. But I'm telling you, they won't be making videos when those aliens come down. Well, actually, they're already here, but when it's discovered.
Hey, you know, I posted this on Twitter today. I don't know. Are you familiar? I think you are with the YouTuber Frederick Knudsen.
I'm not.
I've sent you some of his stuff before. He makes these very long YouTube video essays. I love them. And he's been making one about EVE Online, which I know you'd be fascinated about.
Yeah.
And like the machinations within the video game EVE Online, the history of it. And he has been making it for so long. It's supposedly 5 hours in length. He's been making it and incorrectly guessing when it was going to be done for like over a year now. And I said that this has taken so long that aliens have come out before it.
It's true.
Really,
they have.
Yeah. It's a huge indictment.
The only bit of news I have before we kick on with the episode is that you may or may not notice that. Can you see my chair at the moment?
No.
You can't see my chair. I'm actually on what I would call a wibbly wobbly wonder chair. Nice. I don't know if you've ever had one of those before. It's I don't know, you kind of wobble around in it, and it's meant to be good for your back. But what happens is when you get up off the chair, you realize how many back problems you actually have. And I don't know if that's been caused by the chair or not.
I've never encountered such a chair, but at work occasionally I will accidentally click the thing that like sets my chair off, and I think I get a tiny taste of what you're on about.
Well,
have you found it good?
No, it's pretty good. I think I'm lying to myself, but all I'm saying for the episode is that there will come a time when you'll just hear me go like, ugh, and that'll be it. My back's broken because I don't actually have another chair. But anyway, it's alien technology. What are we doing this week? Because we've been really UFO and alien heavy the last couple of weeks. Yeah. So where are we going? What are we doing to freshen this up this week?
Well, this week then, Dennis, I thought to change it up.
Yeah.
To change it up, to get away from... We're UFO'd out, would you say?
Yeah. People are sick of aliens and UFOs.
Yeah. To shake it up, to change it up, to give our audience the variety that they've come to desire, I decided that we do crop circles.
Yes. Quintessential aliens. Nice. Crop circles.
Well, whoa, we don't know.
What do you mean we don't know? Surely you have to be on the side of we do know. That's
but like we don't know what they are, Dennis. Don't be so close-minded.
I keep looking at my video here and I keep saying, Jesus, where am I? It's like I can't get used to it. But I'm going to give you what I know about crop circles, right?
Go on, yeah.
I would say it's fair to say that crop circles are probably most people's entry point to aliens.
No. Yes.
Okay. All right.
I think you're right.
For the sake of continuing the conversation, right? I do think crop circles, like everyone knows what a crop circle is. I think even let's say an older generation in Ireland, would your dad know what a crop circle is?
I think he would, and John, I think he'd live in fear of them, but from the point of view of like losing that much tillage.
True. It would not be great for his agriculture, even though he doesn't farm. But I can understand.
But no, I don't. If you're from a farming background, even if you have exited it, like my dad, you have like an ambient connection still to farms that are just around. So like my dad will go, "Oh, they've had a very bad harvest this year."
And especially bad harvest when he sees a UFO lifting off the field.
Yeah. Oh no,
but
that's very bad.
Just to get into it, right?
Yeah.
I think for me, crop circles, a lot of movies in the 90s with fields just in general, like fields, Field of Dreams, Signs.
Jeepers Creepers,
yeah. Little Off Base. But like a lot of crop circle-y kind of weird shit happening in crops. But I ever come across. Sorry, there's I have another guest. I have another guest. I've got a really bad cough. I have another guest who's wandering around here. Shut up, you stupid dog. No, he's not a stupid dog. He's not a stupid dog. Lovely dog. Why are you doing this?
I guess on the back of that. On the back of that, we should crack on with the lamestream narrative. Oh.
Pull yourself together. No. I've closed two curtains, right, to a window, and he has stuck his head underneath it, and now he's backing out there. He's got like a cloak on. All right, crops. Stop. Okay. He never barks. What are you doing? Come here. Yeah, I'm trying to put the curtain in front of his face. All right, crop circles.
Aliens. Maybe it's aliens. In 1678, a story took the rural county of Hertfordshire by storm, as some in the community reported strange shapes or patterns appearing in their crops. This was attributed to something referred to as, in quotation marks, the mowing devil, an unidentified demon which, out of sight of humans, appeared to have a penchant for leaving bizarre shapes in fields of unsuspecting crops.
Oh, okay. What year was that? Because I was handling a situation there. What year did you say?
You're handling a small dog. 1678.
1678. So crop circles in various iterations have been around since then.
Well, we don't know.
Okay, well, they've been recorded since then. Would you say that, based on your research?
Well, this was an oddity for sure. But was it in fact the earliest example of what would become known as the crop circle?
Oh. You know, I've never really even what?
With this dog. With this dog.
There's no dog.
Okay, yeah, with this non-human biologic hanging around your studio. If it was a sitcom, something incredibly bad would happen while you were trying to look after the dog.
I'll tell you something now, right? The owner, the chief owner, not even the owner that you think, but the chief owner listens to this podcast.
Really?
Yep.
Okay. Well,
but no, our special producer here is doing fine, but he's really annoyed because he can hear me talk. And I can anytime he hears me talk, he thinks I'm talking to him or ignoring him.
He thinks you're going mad. That's what he thinks is happening.
But he also keeps saying crop circles. So I don't know what that's about. But anyway, crop circles, as you've said, appeared in a field somewhere, but they were known as basically something a devil was doing.
The mowing devil is what they said in 1678, and it was basically, they're obviously coming up with what makes sense to them at the time. So they're saying that the devil or some type of devil demon thing is turning up in the middle of the night and is making these elaborate shapes.
Do you think, though, for you, because it's interesting to get this from your point of view sometimes, do you think that the devil and all of that stuff, like, do you think aliens just supersede them? So, like, if we hear a story about a devil, are we basically meant to believe, all right, like, they didn't know what they're talking about, that was aliens?
No, not necessarily. Because I think there's a chance, let's say aliens come down and we start chatting to them. Yeah. I think that there's a chance that aliens are also afraid of the devil.
You know what? It just wasn't what I was looking for, really. So you think that the aliens believe in the same? If we're going on like whatever religions have devils in them.
Yeah, I think. I'm not saying they do, but I'm saying there's a potential that they might have like some conception of the Judeo-Christian idea of hell. But you know what would be even more interesting is if they only believe in that when they're on Earth.
I like. Why would they only believe it when they're on Earth, though?
That they think that it's actually something that, like, it's only confined to when you're on Earth.
Are you saying so that heaven and hell and all these stuff are just confined into the planet that you're on?
I'm not saying that definitively. But I think that there's a chance.
But just posing this question: are you saying if we go to Mars, that we're going to be opening ourselves up to a whole different, like, heaven and hell?
Different heaven, different hell, potentially.
But in that case, then there's no one in that heaven and hell.
Well, probably very few. Like, and maybe there are if it's like if there was an ancient race on Mars, we don't know.
And people are going to get really pissed off even listening to us talk about this at this stage. Why? But there's also then in this theory, right? There's a possibility that we go to Mars, small mission. They die there, and then they're the only people in heaven and hell forever. Let's say we never go back.
Do you know what? I think in that
transfer.
situation, in that situation, I think it would be like you'd get an emergency passport.
But sure, what would that God and that hell person then? They'd never let them go. It'd be silly.
No, it's all one God. It's all the one God.
Oh, it's all the one God, but he just got different kind of departments.
Yeah, he does. Yeah,
like wings in a prison.
Yes.
Okay. And anyway, today's episode's about crop circles. So we're in Hertfordshire, is it?
Yeah, but you just made me think of that. That was just a bit of colour at the start, but you just made me think of. Because I do think that the devil could exist, but also aliens could exist. That there's a potential. This might have been the first crop circle, but I just want the audience to also keep in mind that there's a potential that actually this is just a coincidence. That these are the devil doing these original ones.
And then after that, the aliens popped down and did it because it was happening on their homeworld as well.
No.
No.
All I'm saying is keep your mind open to the fact that the devil might have done these original ones. But for this sake, I'm assuming it was the original crop circles.
You're kind of saying keep your mind open to whatever just comes out, really, is it?
What I'm saying is, are you familiar with the concept of a cake? Because I'm suggesting that you both have it and eat it.
Are you familiar with the concept of lying? All right, okay. Crop circles. We're in Hertfordshire. It's 1690 something. The devil is causing it.
Yes, 1678. But they were, they're saying at the time they thought these were devils, but potentially were they the original crop circles. Although crop circles are most commonly associated with Britain, which I think that's fair to say, one of the earliest modern
Hold on there a minute.
What?
I never would have thought that Britain were the king of crop circles.
Really?
Would you have?
Yeah. That's why I wrote it in this.
In this. I thought America were all about crop circles. They've definitely got the most movies about it, surely, don't they?
Well, yeah, but I think the confounding factor there is they have a bigger film industry.
Oh, yeah, that's true. I just think culturally, though, they have... I think most people would associate with America.
Really? Okay. Well, okay. Maybe people can write in about that.
I just think I think it's an interesting fact. I think that's cool.
I think I think you'll hear some stuff later that I think will persuade you of this. Mm-hmm. So, although crop circles most commonly associated with Britain, contentiously, one of the earliest modern examples of the phenomenon came from Australia, in a place called Tully, Queensland, in the 1960s, where a farmer reported seeing an unidentified craft flying off from behind some foliage and leaving behind a crushed circle formation of reeds, which some referred to as saucer nests.
Roger, who refers to them as saucer nests? I've never heard that before in my life.
The guy who found them.
So him.
And some other people.
His friends.
His family, probably.
His friends, yeah. Is he like kind of implying that the saucers are breathing?
No, it's not. He's just saying that that's where they nested when they landed.
He's been pithy.
Yes. He's the Oscar Wilde of rural Queensland.
Ah, very good.
I think something that's... I'm not commenting on that. Something that is worth considering with this, especially with the ones that we're going to look at afterwards, is that it's actually quite rare to see them actually be what would you say, to see what has caused them.
Yeah, that's because most of the college students will come in the middle of the night to the farm.
Oh, Dennis, shut up. But what I'm saying is it's quite rare to see the actual UFO flying off. Right. It wouldn't take long for rumours of similar such formations to appear across the globe in places as far-flung as Canada and Wiltshire.
Where's Wiltshire?
I'll tell you now, that sentence didn't get a second pass over. Because I would have changed that up a bit, I think. But Wiltshire in England, rural county in England. Although crop circles can be as simple as a circular formation appearing in a field of tillage, they're often more associated with bizarre patterns, sophisticated symbols, and almost always linked in some way to fractals or sacred geometry. So I don't know if you're familiar with the concept of sacred geometry and fractals and stuff.
Is this about everything having the like pi and stuff and everything measuring up to the same stuff and petals and all that crap, is it?
Pretty much, yeah. The fractals are interesting. They're like basically they're like recurring.
You said as if no.
No, that's like it. That's pretty much it. Like because
I just feel like you can't be disinterested in it.
I'm not disinterested in it.
Okay.
Am I a bit tired? Yeah. But I'm not disinterested in.
You're slugging back Lucasade Sport. That's a jumbo as well, is it?
It's actually water. I filled it up with water.
Is it cold?
It's cold enough. It's cold enough. The Denis just before this as well. Fucking freezer. Bloody can you see this?
Not really. Something just fell off of it. Oh right, you're opening up a freezer.
Yeah,
Mr. Freeze is inside now.
Loads of Mr. Freezes inside. So that's also what's playing on my mind. I got a replacement freezer. It's working, nice. Knock on wood, so far. And I have a bunch of Mr. Freezes that I'm going to suck down after this. But what I was going to say is, no, fractal, you basically got it right. Fractals, sacred geometry, stuff like that. The fractals are interesting. They're like these recurring patterns that when you visualize numbers or visualize certain things, the patterns are just ever recurring, and they're, no matter how far you zoomed out or how far you zoom in, they're trippy, man.
Oh, before we move on there, actually, I was talking to someone and they blew my mind. I know this person a very, very long time, and they asked me, how do I imagine numbers? How do you imagine numbers?
I would say the like text version of them.
Yeah, so if you were to imagine, like, I don't know, like let's say you're adding like 20 and 60, how would you imagine that? Or like, would you just do it? Would you have any imagery?
I'd if I had imagery, it would be what I would write on a page in my head.
Yeah, okay, right. I was talking to this person, and they thought it was totally normal to imagine things like a number line in space, right? Just like a gigantic amount of space, and then 1 to 10 going in a straight line left to right, and then maybe 11 to 20 kind of go up diagonally at 45 degrees, and then 21 to like 50 going like in a kind of a loop and looping around and stuff. So they imagine it as like almost a huge canvas of numbers, and that's how they add and stuff.
Are they good at maths?
Unbelievable at maths.
Okay. That's the sort of thing that if you said they were bad at maths, I would have gone, they're a fucking idiot. But
why are they
now
doing that?
They're good at maths, so I go, okay, yeah, that's probably better than me, which is essentially cosplaying a calculator in my head.
Sorry, you got no response to that because the last couple of words got cut out.
Okay. I'll be honest, I was pretty disappointed with the response to it.
You got the response at home.
Oh, okay. Do you know, I won't repeat it then, because the worst case scenario is it gets the exact same response that interference got, and then you're stuck in an awkward position where you have to decide. Will I say, oh no, that wasn't funny, or will you just have to go, oh, I cut out again?
Jeez, I've never sweated so much. I'm actually
there's only so many feigned. No, you cut out again.
Hey, look, it's a funny dog.
Yeah, bark. So, Denis, to continue, right? There are certainly features seen. Oh, sorry, I'm gonna yawn.
No need for that. No need for that. That's an attention yawn if I've ever seen one. You may as well be in a fucking cartoon doing that yawn. He's got, for people who are not watching on YouTube, he's wearing a kind of a floppy hat with a ball on the end of it. Get yourself together, man. We've told him nothing.
So, okay, right. Those features that I mentioned, fractals, sacred geometry, all that stuff, right? These are certainly the features seen among the spate of famous formations which appeared across the United Kingdom from the late 1970s onwards. While they may not appear anything special from the ground, when seen from above, this is when they truly confound witnesses, often being so elaborate and so ornate that it seems impossible that they could have been created without being witnessed, let alone being done in just a single night. There are many... Oh, go on, sorry.
Sorry to interrupt. Are you going to get into any of the kind of trials and stuff that people ran trying to replicate these?
Kind of.
Kind of. All right, okay. Well, I think I've seen stuff before where they have, but I don't have the facts, to be quite honest, where they've tried to replicate this stuff in a night, at night, using quite rudimentary, let's say, silent techniques, because you're not going to, bring any machines or anything in there. And I don't think they were able to do it.
Well, put a pin in that. Put a pin in that, right? Because there are many theories around their purpose. Some claim that they are merely a byproduct of the taking off and landing of astral vehicles. Others think they are a serious effort of communication from these extraterrestrial beings, containing information important to humanity, and it is up to us to decipher it. Some even believe that they're merely galactic graffiti. And of course, there are those who insist that the whole crop circle craze is merely a hoax.
So you're putting forward there one of the theories that these are just a kind of couple of edgy teenagers coming down tagging Earth.
Yeah. Edgelord aliens.
How far up do you I don't know why I can't talk, but how far up in the sky do you have to be for you to see it? Like if you go up like countrywide, you're not going to be able to see it. Like if you're up in a satellite, you're not going to be able to see it. So who are they doing it for? So for planes, UFOs, their friends.
Other UFOs, I think.
I love I bet you're going to do this theory, but I do love the map idea. Do you have that? I hear some typing.
Yeah, I do know. Yeah.
Yeah, have that one. That's the new theories after coming in. That they are waypoints on a map for other UFOs coming along. No, it makes absolutely no sense why someone with that kind of technology would ever need a map. But maybe when you are visiting places, I suppose you put down a beacon, but then you just use the resources on the planet that you need. I think you also have to go towards that rule.
Here's one for you. What if aliens, and we've never encountered this theory before, what if aliens use Earth as like a scout or camping retreat? So they obviously have better technology, but they're choosing to use rudimentary efforts such as crop circles to communicate.
So you mean like that a couple of guys and a group of kids, aliens, come down here in the scouts and like kind of do all these sorts of trials on Earth, and then they get different badges and go back to wherever they're from?
Yeah, that's pretty much exactly what I'm suggesting.
Wow, and we've never come across them.
I don't think. Well, no, but how often do you see a scout troop?
Know what?
They're not.
That is so true. I've never seen a scout ever.
Yeah. So I put to you, if you can go, we know scouts exist. We know they exist. There's evidence and stuff. And there's all those court cases. But so we know scouts exist, but you rarely ever see a scout troop. So, who's to say that the aliens aren't? The aliens would just have to be as secretive as the scouts.
There was a guy before.
Not be encountered.
There was a guy before, and he showed me. We're at a house party, and this was not like, it was relatively, maybe 7-8 years ago, right? So relatively, no, it wasn't like when we were 10. And he goes, "See this here?" And I say, "Yeah." And it was a belt, and he said, "This is a belt from when I got my Scout Challenge camping in Europe." And I was just like, "Why are you wearing it, man?" Like, and he goes, "Still fits me." And I'm like, "What's wrong with you?" Like, just. So I just think scouts are. Did you know any scouts?
Do I know that man?
No, you don't.
No,
no, you know what? You could know him, but it would be a really it'd just be a coincidence connection.
Okay.
But I don't know. I just think that scouts people. What do you think? What do you think people in scouts?
There was a girl in my secondary school.
Yeah.
I shouldn't say any of this.
No, go on, say it.
No, that I'll say in secondary school I fancied her.
Yeah.
Fancied her a bit.
Nice qualifier.
Yeah. She's very nice. very intelligent.
I hope there's a reason for bringing this up.
One weekend I saw her dressed in scout attire, and listen, it gave me the ick.
It gave me the ick.
It gave me the ick.
Yeah.
It gave me the ick.
Jesus.
I thought lame. Loser.
Wow. Okay.
No,
Scout's honor.
No, that's not true. That's not true. She just was in the Scouts.
All right. She was in the Scouts and you fancied her. That was the story in a nutshell, really. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Cool. So tell us more about these crop circles.
We never got off with each other. They in fact, Dennis, right? We were talking about them potentially being hoaxes. There were two pranksters, Doug Bauer and Dave Chorley, who came forward in 1991 and claimed that they were in fact the source of the craze. And they were able to make these crop circles, these formations, with nothing more than a plank of wood, some rope, and a baseball cap with a loop of wire fitted through it. So, just for that, because I looked this up, it's like on the top of the baseball cap, have a little hoop hanging off of here, and then a piece of wire going through the hoop.
Right.
So that you can walk in straight lines.
Okay, cool. And that guides you, is it? Like you have a stick behind you, you put a rope as tight as you can and put another stick in another place. And then do you walk with the hat then?
You walk with the wire through the hat, yeah.
And then have you seen that as well? I don't even know where I'm getting this from. Maybe it's from like some dug up memory from watching like Discovery or something when I was younger. And they'd have like almost like tennis racket shoes on to like stamp down the...
Yeah, pretty much. They have big planks of wood on their feet. Yeah. So...
Did they ever do this on Mythbusters?
That's a good one. That's a good question. Are you looking it up? Or are you just pretending to click?
Mythbusters, Facebook. My keyboard does sound fake now. I got a new keyboard. Mythbusters. I don't know. I don't know who runs this Facebook page that Mythbusters have.
You always go to that page, and I think twice it has told us like completely wrong information.
Yeah, I can't get the information off of that.
So, Dennis, case closed, it would seem. Apart from the fact that there were thousands of crop circles formed across the globe over this time period, with only 200 being claimed by Bauer and Chorley. Further still, they claimed that they started to make them inspired by the original story of the Australian farmer in Tully, Queensland, which means even if they were responsible for all the known crop circles in the United Kingdom, we still have no answer for what caused the original saucer nest in Australia.
So you're saying that they only claimed 200 of them?
Yeah.
200. How many was there?
Over 1,000.
Over 1,000. All right. Okay. So they had quite a number of them. They had like a fifth. Like that's basically how many they went.
Yeah.
For. But that's just let's talk about these two guys for a second, right from Winchester. Why would they be doing what?
I don't think they're from anywhere. Well, they're obviously from somewhere, but
I think they are. But
okay. Oh, you looked them up, did you? I just saw. I didn't say it.
It.
Okay, fair.
I didn't know if, to be honest, I didn't know if you said it. But anyway, the two boys, right? Like, let's say they did do it. Mm-hmm. Why would they do
it? Bored.
But like 200, you could expect them to do 10, right? Get a couple of news items, maybe do one a year. You know, like okay, maybe it's not like one crop circle. Let's say they do 10, so maybe they've done it 20 times or whatever. But that still seems like a ton. I just like you think they'd have to get the farmers involved as well, wouldn't they?
I just looked them up, Dennis.
Yeah,
and there's no. First of all, I'll say from farming experience, there's no way a farmer's saying yes to that.
Yeah.
But I just looked them up, and they fucking look like aliens.
Oh, so you think that they might be like...
They're double bluffing.
like navigation.
What do you mean?
Like, as in, like, they're laying down these things for aliens as aliens. Well, they don't. The thing is, Raj, they don't have to be aliens.
Well, I think they are now.
Yeah, but what if they came down, they got probed and stuff?
Oh, yeah.
And then they were told, like, if I was an alien, right, this is what I'd do. Right, this is genuinely what I'd do. We know everything about Earth. You'd come down there, you'd like put down a big light, right? You'd pretend to be a god, right? Which to them you pretty much are anyway. You pretend to be a god, and then you would tell them, I need you to go do this work for God. But really what you're getting them to do is like to almost build like a traffic light system or something for your interstate UFO highway. Yeah. And then, I mean, they'd do it. Like, they would 100% do it. I mean, we have a story about an alien visiting some guy in one of the episodes.
The Relians, yeah. In a crater. You just made me think, here's a little subplot for you. Earth, like a la Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, is planned to be demolished. There's some UFOs that are really passionate. They're like UFO activists. They're passionate about Earth. They travel down and convince these lads to make these crop circles so that they can make a case of like, oh no, we can't destroy this because you look at what they've made, like the
it's like heritage site.
Yeah. Fucking bingo bango.
I think
it as like a tourist trap.
Do you think as well with these crop circles that like maybe they're they don't have to be giant beings, but maybe they are huge beings. Maybe they're like fourth dimensional beings or something. And
are you suggesting that it's like this is just the bottom of their Nikes?
Yes, exactly. That's exactly what I'm going for. But you get what I mean. It could actually be a communication that we're completely misinterpreting.
Well, yeah, I think that's a theory. That's like that's definitely one of the theories. But Dennis, what I'll say before we continue is that the story of crop circles remains to this day unexplained. So I guess you're starting to theory craft already. So we'll I guess we'll just flake on with the theories then. So continue with your one. You're saying that it's communication that we're not picking up on.
Oh yeah, sorry. I thought you were continuing. Yeah, no. So I think not in terms of the navigation or the maps or the beacons or anything like that, or like, but I think that these might be fourth dimensional beings, right? Perhaps could be 2D beings, right? Actually, I don't know if 2D can come up into 3D, but anyway, but they could be 2D beings. But oh my god, I saw an Instagram video the other day, right? And it was a person. And this must have come up because we were talking about it, but it came up, and it was a person saying that she basically had like a 2D picture, right? And she had, you can imagine like in school before you'd like stick on a hat or something onto a page, and she had a hat, and she was talking about two dimensions. What? In school before, like if you had like stickers or something that you'd stick on, but they're like Velcro. Like I'm talking about when you're really, really young, like when you're like a total idiot when you're like 4 or 5, and they you could stick stuff on to a board or something.
Okay, yeah.
I mean, like it does exist.
I've no idea what you're on about.
So, like, let's say there's a picture of a man, right, on the board, and then he's got a Velcro kind of thing on top of his head, and then you can put different kind of hats on him.
Oh, like you're dressing him.
Yeah, you're dressing him. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Sorry, I should have led with that.
Sorry, can I just say that, and you can listen to this back when we're both editing this, but you initially said, oh, when you're young and you put a hat on a piece of paper. As if you're like dressing the piece of paper.
The way it's in my head, so it's perfectly reasonable.
Okay,
but anyway, right? But this woman was trying to communicate with 2-dimensional beings.
Right.
Yeah. And what she was doing was she was giving them signs that she had been there. So what she would do on this flat canvas is she would turn the sticky hat the other way around to tell them that she had been there.
Okay.
So what I'm saying is these are crop circles. I don't know, are they from the second dimension or the fourth dimension?
Fourth dimension, yeah.
Right? But these could be kind of this is their way of communicating, because we can't really get into their dimensions, and we can't, like we're not going to be able to see things in the way that they see stuff.
So I think you should look up a book called Flatland if you're interested in this. I think it's basically like a narrative based around this idea of a three-dimensional object appearing in like a one-dimensional or two-dimensional world. But the other thing I would say is I know a lad who thinks he can communicate with two-dimensional objects.
Is this a joke?
And he watches a lot of hentai.
Yeah.
There we go.
That was it. Okay. Sorry, no, I didn't mean to do that. I promise, I didn't mean to kill the ship like that. I really thought you were going to tell me. And the reason,
better joke.
No, I thought you were going to tell me, and I thought you were going to say the guy who we are friends with. I thought it was going to be him, and I was like, "Oh no, he needs help."
Who's that?
So I can't say it on the podcast, but anyway,
okay.
I nearly said it there for a laugh. Anyway, so
theories.
Yeah, I think that's what it could be. I think it could be rather than just aliens trying to communicate with us, because I think that's a little bit kind of, it's a bit silly really to think about aliens coming down and like putting stuff into the fields and whatever. Like, because
why is that silly?
Well, why wouldn't they just leave us a letter or something? Like, I mean, I'm sure they're able to communicate just as well with us.
No, because Dennis, have you ever heard the thing of if you could teach a lie in English, you wouldn't be able to chat to it?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So, like, what? Yeah,
I have, yeah.
Have you? Yeah. So, who's to say that this might be normal communication to them? And they're confounded by how we don't like communicate back.
Okay, so then in a kind of Rosetta Stone type way, we can just look at all of the crop circles, then figure out kind of repeating patterns, and then we can figure out what they're saying, right? So people have done that. What was their results?
No, different languages.
Different aliens doing it.
Yeah. So you can't. That's where you fall down with that.
So you're saying that the crop circles are actually all from different aliens as well?
Potentially. So first theory really, Dennis, is we've already addressed it. It's aliens, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the branches off of that is one of the branches which you discussed is this idea of them being fourth dimensional beings communicating in a three-dimensional space, which I think is very interesting. The other branch from it is the graffiti branch that we mentioned earlier as well. Of like just that, it's, they're just, these are little tags. They're just having a little bit of fun, which I think is also fair. The second theory is that it's done by hyper-intelligent ants.
Sorry?
It's done by hyper-intelligent ants.
Who said that?
Oh, that's a theory that's out there. Is that somebody's put forward a theory that it's actually these hyper-intelligent ants that are going around crushing all of the crops to build these big elaborate like structures.
I saw an ant exhibition, and it was very, very cool. All of the ants were actually on these kind of ropes that were hardened with this kind of wax, and they were actually like you could if you wanted to, you could pick up a rake of ants, right? They weren't behind any enclosure or anything like that. It was very, very cool. But they were busy doing work, and there was this guy next to me with his girlfriend, and his girlfriend started laughing mad because the guy was looking at the ants, and he goes, "You just got to respect them. Just got to respect them. Got to respect the work they're putting in, because they were constantly doing it." So I think, to be honest, if anyone's capable of doing it, it's probably ants.
I
mean, have they found ants nests and stuff? Have they found ants on the scene?
No, this is very theoretical. Very theoretical.
What does that mean, Raj? What does very theoretical mean?
It's very theoretical. It's just a concept of maybe like, is it these hyper intelligent ants?
and
and it might be.
It's not.
Could be. The next one, Dennis, is that they're caused by mini vortexes.
Okay, I can't even.
No, but Dennis, we've talked about the amount of things we've talked about on this. We've just talked about hyper intelligent ants.
But what is a vortex?
It's just confounding, like an air vortex.
Okay, well, what's an air vortex? What happens?
Like a hurricane-y thing.
Okay, like some sort of like mini tornado going around making designs.
Mini tornado, yeah. Mini driver. The mini tornado just comes around and just blows it in such a way that it perfectly looks like. What? Just
And,
perfectly.
and what does the mini tornado do?
What do you mean?
Oh, sorry. Okay, so wait. But then does that lend back to your fractals and stuff like that? So
Yes.
that this nature thing would actually just create these beautiful shapes.
Yes.
All right, and so
and then
what?
the other ones are faked.
So you're saying some of them are faked, kind of nearly based on what nature is creating.
Maybe, yeah.
Maybe. Not really being nailed down on any of these yet, are you?
Well, I'm just saying that it could be.
Just before we get through all the theories, is there any one that you believe in?
Yeah.
Just one though, or
I think hyper intelligent ants is like interesting. But I think if I'm being totally honest with you, why do you have your head in your hands?
I just think interesting is not like that's not a like they shouldn't be entered into the theories if they're interesting. You know that shouldn't be the only criteria. You know, it's like I think they're made by dinosaurs. You know, like dinosaurs from outer space.
Have you heard that? Where have you heard that from?
Dinobots. That can't be a criteria to bring. Did you make it up? Did you make up the ant thing?
No, I didn't. It's on the Wikipedia. But I really do think that this is a difference in our like mindsets. That for me, the most important factor as to whether or not something should be mentioned is if it's interesting.
I think you should have more rigorous criteria than if you just find it interesting.
Why?
That should be the explanation.
That's really interesting. Hyper intelligent ants. It caught your fancy.
You'd be
got a whole anecdote out of you. An antidote.
You'd be a disaster of a GP. I think it's ants. It's cancer.
It might be lupus. If you're I
think it's ant cancer.
So, yeah. Well, if you want to pin me down, then I think it's aliens and some people faking them.
Okay, I think that makes sense. And you're going on the kind of theory that the Australian one was ground zero, or at least one of the first recorded ones, along with the one. How does it fall in with the Hertfordshire ones? Do you think that they're the first recorded alien crop circles?
They might be the devil, like I said.
Yeah, you're open to that still.
Hang on. What if they've all been the devil?
There's no aliens involved.
No, it's all the devil.
Well, this is what I was kind of posing at the start, was you seem to be kind of going along the line of they're just silly peasants, but it's actually always aliens when you think it's the devil.
Yeah.
But now you're saying they could all be the devil.
Now I'm saying, flip the script.
How many bottles of things do you have on your desk at any one time, right? Because you keep going in different directions unscrewing bottles. What is going on?
I was so hoping that wouldn't get commented on. So I have this. I have this.
Two either side.
Thing. I have this as well.
3.
I guess I have this. If you really
4.
must.
You're the girl in Signs. I think I've said that before.
Do you know what I want to watch? I'm either going to watch Nope or Signs tonight.
I haven't seen Nope. I haven't heard great things about it though. But anyway, theories wise, where are we?
Yeah. We're pretty much finished.
Oh, nice. Okay. All right. Well, I'd have to say that I love the idea that some of these are hoaxes. If I'm going on your thing, I find the dimensions communicating with us. I find that the most interesting. Yeah. I don't believe in it, but I find it most interesting.
That's what's important.
I think the problem
what's important is it being interesting.
I think the problem with the hoax thing, if I'm being honest, is I don't think that they're the only two guys that have hoaxed it, but they're nearly claiming responsibility for the majority of them, which I think is bullshit. I think that is bullshit. I don't think they've done all of them.
Well, I think if you look up their ones, they're not that great. They're not that interesting.
Do you have a supreme crop circle, like one that you hold, like the best one? as you.
I think one of the most famous ones. I heard somebody refer to it as the Eastman formation, but I couldn't actually find that when I googled it. But if you look up Led Zeppelin crop circle,
Oh wow!
the one
Okay.
that's on there, that's probably one of the ones that people point towards as being like the one of the most
Oh
famous
yeah,
ones, I would say.
that's very
you
cool.
know it. You know
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
You at home will know it as well. It looks like a solar system. I think is probably what it looks like.
I would have said some kind of key.
Or a
But
key.
But yeah. But no,
Or-
I get where you're coming from as well.
A key to the solar system.
Yeah, well, yes.
No, I'm
But
saying,
the other thing I should mention before we do head off is that a lot of people say that there's like very interesting, there are supernatural things that happen within these crop circles, and that they often happen around places like Stonehenge and stuff. So they're tied into ancient mysticism as well, and I guess that goes back to our idea of like the 1980, the 1678 one, where there is this ancient past to them, and they have been tied to mysticism.
Whatever the truth on this, I do believe that pranks back in the 1600s had such a bigger effect on society than pranks could ever have today.
Oh yeah, I'd say like you could form a religion on a prank back then.
Like you could, I don't know, you could just like, I don't know, put mud all over your face or something and be like, oh, I've got a disease, and then you'd be killed, you'd be burned on a bonfire. Like even as a kid.
Oh, you could fake the plague, no doubt.
Yeah, but
And
then
you'd be
also
in
get
big
killed.
trouble.
Big trouble.
Yeah,
And then
yeah.
it'd like kill half the town as well. All right, that does it for this week on what's the name of our podcast? Unexplained Legends. I'm Denis Len. You find me Denis Len 3D. The dog over there as well is fast asleep now, thank God. And over there
I
is
thought you were talking about me. Hi, Roger Roberto Sullivan, and you can find me as my Irish character on Instagram at Roger O'Comedy.
I think as well, thanks very much for getting us over 105 stars on Spotify. Give us some Apple ones as well. And anyone who is still listening at the moment, please just tell all your friends to listen to it. We've got a bunch of new listeners as well. We should probably say hello to if they're still here.
Hello everyone. Come see me in Edinburgh. If you're at Edinburgh for the Fringe Festival, come see me. I'll be there from the 21st to the 27th doing a show with another brilliant comedian, Alex Berchulis Fernandez. And you can find, if you just Google me, Alex and Roger, work it out. That's the show. You'll
venue?
find tickets. No idea.
No idea. Okay, great.
No idea what venue. No idea the time. I just about know the dates. Okay.
Okay, perfect. Wait, you have to do your thing.
Yeah. The well, I guess on the back of that. Love you. Bye.